Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice, because today is another episode of Terrifying Tuesdays, in which I will be reviewing a movie called Terror Street. Another one of the movies from this collection of movies. These are, for those of you who haven't been with me before, I was left a bunch of movies by my father when he died in December. A lot of them are horror. That's mainly the reason for the title, but some of them are old, like noir, kind of 50s mysteries, and that's what this one is. This one is, again, 1954. It is in England, and the movie is basically you have an American pilot who is catching a jump seat flight back to England from America. He is returning to England because he is stationed there with his wife, who he met during World War II. She was from Finland, Norway, something like that. She had no country to return to, and he, after the war, he was, they got married and they said, okay, let's just stay in the country that we met in. So they got married. But he got sent back to America for some sort of a jet pilot school, because this is 54, right around the beginning of, pilots. Okay. So he's flying back to meet her on a kind of a 36-hour path. She doesn't know that he's coming back, and the government don't know he's coming back because he's just... So he gets home, catches a cab, and goes home, and she's not there. And it was completely obvious that she hadn't been there in a long time. He'd been away for about a year. All the furniture was covered up. There's a lot of dust and all that. And he's just like, what the hell? So he goes across the hall to his Air Force, another Air Force friend of his, and his wife. And the wife says she's gone. She's out, lots of women divorce their husbands. Lots of women, So she thinks that she's divorcing him, and he forces her to tell her where she is. He gets to the hotel she's staying at and kind of bribes and bullies the guy down at the front to give him the keys to go into her apartment, where he meets her after. And that's where you find out how they met and why they decided to stay there. And when she gets home, he's kind of drunk. They get into an argument, and he gets knocked out. Next thing he does, he wakes up and finds her dead. Okay. So he has 36 hours to try and figure out who killed her and why before suspicion lands on him, because he has two choices. He has to do it because he has to get back to the plane, or else not only will he get in trouble for being UA, or actually that's a modern term, unauthorized absence, called AWOL. But eventually the government will find out, that he was there, and he will be considered for her murder. So he has to try and figure out who and why. So it's an hour and 20-minute long movie. Now, we as a viewer, we know why. We know who killed her. Because we see that, who did it. We just don't know why. So, while he's trying to figure out the who and why, we get to watch his process of figuring out who it was by getting the little clues, and that there's this is what's actually going on, and so we get the why, and then he figures out who. It's a pretty good movie. Now, if you watch the last Tuesdays, about how great I thought the last Tuesdays was, it's kind of the same, the same thing, just people had tried to kill him, and he's trying to figure out who it was. That one was a little better. This one isn't as suspenseful. But there's a good mystery to it. These are done by Hammer Studios. It's got, good action. The script could have been a little bit better. And, but overall it was really good. The one thing I just find really funny, as in amusing, really funny, not, like, say Eddie Murphy's Raw funny, is to watch these old fights from the 50s. Because they are just, it is really amusing to watch this guy try and, fight. Because they aren't anywhere near as good as the ones we see in the movies today, but it is. One thing I don't like is actually knowing who does the killing from the beginning of the movie, because I like trying to figure out who did it. So to me, knowing who did it takes something away from it, even if you have to figure out why. So I think that took a little bit of the enjoyment away from it from me. Sorry, my knee is just bugging the hell out of me today. It's only been 2.5 weeks. So, but it's late Monday night on the 3rd, and I just got it done on the 13th. So it still really hurts. But what was I saying? Okay. So I enjoy it more when you have to sit here and say, figure it out. Go through the list of suspects. It's okay. Here's this is why. Who is it? But this one it was still pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Oh yeah, it was the old fights. This one had a bunch of 3 or 4 good sets of fights for the time, and it was pretty exciting. But like I said, this one wasn't as good as Paid to Kill from last week. But again, like I said, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this a 4.25 out of 5, and give it a recommend. You can get it on, I think it's Newbie. I think Prime, you can rent it. Like I said, I have these on DVD, so I don't need to worry about it. But it is called Street of Terror. So Let me know if you watched it, what you thought of it, and like, subscribe, possibly share, and most of all, enjoy your old movies.